descended.
Um,
What?
I owned the gun. Yeah, I owned the gun, and I was like most people. I bought my first gun in '99, right before Y2K. And this, when I shot the coffee table, it was probably 2000, 2001, maybe. No, it couldn't have been 2000. So maybe 2001, 2003, somewhere in there, between 2000, call it 2 and 2004, somewhere in there. Home one night, late at night, I'm messing around with the gun, putting the mag in, out. I obviously racked one in the chamber, didn't realize it. Pressed the trigger because I didn't have trigger finger discipline. I didn't have any training. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Glock 21 goes off, 45 caliber round, bang. My ears are ringing. I had my left hand over the barrel, over the top of it, and it's a Glock 21C, so it has some holes cut in the barrel and in the slide. So I had, carbon and lead in my hand. My pinky was really close to being shut off. So when the gun went off, is what it should do. It wasn't an accidental discharge. It was a negligent discharge. Yeah. Gun goes off. My ears are ringing. I dropped the gun, scared as shit at this point, and then it hit me like, where the fuck did that, excuse my French, where did that bullet go?
Yeah.
So at the time, I lived on Ferris Street. So I want to say, I don't know if it's 5th and Ferris or 6th and Ferris, but I was on the corner in Wilmington, and directly across the street was a park with a basketball court.
Oh.
People are outside, late at night sometimes, So I'm like, oh man, did it go out the window? So I looked to my left, and fortunately I had some old end tables that I got from my grandmother. So they were made out of really thick, these were real wood because they were old. It wasn't like no IKEA stuff, right? These were real wood. So the round hit the bottom of the coffee table and it stopped it. The hollow point was there on the ground. I still remember to this day, it flowered like it should, it expanded. And at the moment, I didn't know what I was looking at because I didn't know anything about expansion. Yeah. But just looking back at it now, I'm like, yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. But luckily it didn't go out that window. But it scared the hell out of me, man. But that's just not knowing what I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I had no training. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, man. There's certain times where I blame the movies, but, I get worried that something's going to happen. Like, I do know for a fact that if I have a squib round, it's going to jack my gun up and potentially hurt me. But in the back of my mind, and this is where the movie comes in at, what was it? You ever see the first Sin City movie?
No.
All right, so there's it's broken up by acts, but it was like probably in one of the middle acts where this crooked cop was, I guess I can't remember the exact thing that was going on, but he was riding with this guy that was trying to get information from him, or just beat him up because he was messing with his girl. I think that's what it was. So they ended up in this side of town that was kind of rough, and it had all these women there that were kind of like assassins and mercenaries and all this stuff.
Okay.
But they were on the guy's side because the girl that excuse me, the girl that the cop beat up actually came from there, if I remember right. So one of the women was actually kind of Japanese themed. She was like a geisha ninja or something, right? And she threw, I don't know if it was like a kunai or some type of a rod into the police officer's gun because he was aiming at the dude that was about to beat him up. And the guy that was trying to beat him up just said very calmly, "Don't shoot. The barrel's jammed. The barrel has something in it." And the police officer was like, "Yeah, whatever, fine." He shoots the gun, and it was I can't remember what type of gun it was, but it was made out of old school metal gun. But nonetheless, shoots the gun. The slide comes completely off. It goes backwards, and it lodges itself into the dude's head.
Oh wow!
So every time I use a handgun now, that is kind of ingrained in my head to the point where I'm like, is it real? Can this really happen? Can it not happen? Please tell me it can't happen.
I don't know if to that extreme, but it can cause a catastrophic malfunction. I had a squib this Saturday at a competition. Excuse me. Matter of fact, I had two of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So on the first one, you could hear pop, pop, pop. No, bang, bang, bang. And it was like pop. When you hear a pop, you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
So I had already programmed 2 trigger presses because I saw the target. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shoot that twice. Bang. First one shot the way it should, and then I heard a pop. But I went to send another round because I already told myself I was gonna shoot again. So I saw what I needed to see. So the RO was trying to stop me, but I had already pressed the trigger again. Luckily, the projectile actually left the barrel and it wasn't clogged.
Wow.
But then what ended up happening was I ended up getting another one, and I'm like, why isn't this why isn't my round feeding now? So I couldn't see it, but it was far enough in there that I couldn't see it, but it was close enough back that it was preventing another round from physically being loaded. So that kind of saved me on that one, because I probably would have sent another round the second time without knowing it. But if it happens and you're shooting fast, it's almost impossible to stop, because it's by the time you hear it, you've already pressed the trigger again before your brain can kind of register what you just heard or what you felt, because it's going to feel different too.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yep. COVID has jacked up everything. Got them COVID calibers now, man.
Yeah, I mean, a split can happen no matter what. It's usually rare, but it certainly can happen.
Well, I'm glad it didn't do what it could have done. So yeah, I'm glad it
Yeah,
didn't
man,
happen.
you ain't lying. I don't want to have my face messed up or my gun messed up or my hands messed up. It was scary though.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Ugh. You're wearing brown pants that day, right?
Luckily, it wasn't that scary.
Okay. Good to hear. Man, shoot, I know we got 3 questions. What do you think about firearm fanboys?
They don't bother me. I mean, every Glock has its fanboys, Canik has its fanboys, Taurus. They don't bother me. You can tell when someone is speaking from knowledge and when someone is just speaking because they're fanboys. So I just ignore them. Like, I shoot Glocks. I have multiple Glocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel as though I know Glock isn't the best. I don't know if there is the best pistol, one. But I don't feel like Glock is the best pistol. I feel like there's some things that Glocks do better than others. There's some guns that do stuff better than Glocks. There's some guns that probably do everything just as well, if not better than a Glock. But it's just people, man, it's the ego, man. You know how that is. If I spend $500, $600, $700 on a gun, I naturally feel like I have to defend it, right?
Yeah.
I naturally feel as though my choice was right. So I have to convince you that you were wrong by buying an M&P and not a Glock because I'm right by choosing Glock. It's just stupid. So I ignore those people because those people don't really have any useful information to provide. It's all feeling. Because if you ask them a question like, all right, well, what makes XYZ better than this other gun? Oh man, it just is. You just got to shoot it. Okay. All right, I appreciate your time.
Because they put a wild barrel in there.
Yeah, exactly. They put the wieldy barrel, man. Yes. I'll go, all right, man, I'll spend my time elsewhere. I appreciate you, sir.
Right.
But there certainly are some fanboys, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
No question.
They're everywhere. It's almost as bad as Xbox fanboys versus PlayStation fanboys.
Yeah, man. Like, both of them you're going to have a good time on either one. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah. That's another topic.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I know we talked about this earlier on too, but what do you feel about firearms used simply because they have no racist history, if such a thing even exists?
Firearms used just because they have no racist history. I don't know. I mean, any gun that you're going to use, for me, it should have a purpose, whether it's just for fun, self-defense, competition, whatever, hunting. But I'm not going to buy a gun because of its history. I can't say I wouldn't buy a gun because of its history, though. It would just have to be something really extreme, and then there wouldn't have to be any other options that I could buy. But I think most of us don't really know the history of firearms or these companies, to begin with, and I put myself in that category as well. Like I haven't researched Glocks to see like, all right, well, when Asta or Gaston Glock was born, did he call somebody a nigger in the 4th grade, or did, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I haven't done that kind of like work. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I bought my purchase based on proven track record. So that's kind of the way that I operate. I need something to be reliable.
Right. It makes sense.
It needs to have a proven track record. I don't want to personally vet it. I don't want to be in a gunfight to say, all right, this works in a gunfight. I need somebody else to do that for me. And then I'll learn from their experience.
Yeah. In chess, the pawns go first.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. Because I know there's some people that do like the utmost amount of research just to try and justify not utilizing something, to the point where it's just like, if you look at everything that's going on now, you have some people that chose the AK-47 or any AK variant out there, just to try and avoid other brands like Canik or Smith and Wesson or whatever, because they feel like, oh, they're super racist. So if you look at what's going on now, especially with the Russian ammo ban, they're kind of the jam right now. Now I can understand the feelings, can't quite sympathize with them, but eventually, if there's no more ammo being produced or shipped over to the United States, that gun is going to end up becoming a club, or is going to be used extremely rarely. So there you have that. But I did hear some good news recently. Palmetto State is actually trying to team up with a European, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's a European company that produces steel ammunition. And they are supposedly going to start producing steel ammo here in America. So we'll see how that'll go.
Yeah. I know the AK lovers will love that. And anyone else that shoots steel cases, I'm sure they're going to come out with, some other calibers other than, what an AK was, it 7.62 or whatever it is?
Yeah, 7.62. No, that's not right.
Is it 7.62? All right.
Uh-huh.
You can tell I don't know much about AKs.
Don't feel bad, man. I got a little curious, and I purchased some 223, some Steelcase 223 in the box. It had some Russian writing on it. It was like a very simple box.
Right.
The rounds were wrapped up in like some manila paper or something, and I don't know what it was.
Like you buying lunch meat.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know what it is, but when I stacked the boxes up, I heard the Russian anthem slowly playing in the background. And it got louder. And I'm like, why is this enticing me so much? I felt a way. I don't know if it's a good way or a bad way, but it was interesting.
I mean, man.
Yeah, I don't want the FBI or the CIA to come after me, so I'm gonna go ahead and move to the next question, because they're like, where did you get the ammo? Igor telling me everything.
Yeah, man.
So, last question. I don't know if this is gonna be a big one, because we did touch certain topics on this already, but let me see. All right, here we go. If not the offered manufacturers, how are black people supposed to find firearms that fit their mindset towards certain brands? And that's not exactly an easy answer to find.
Can you repeat that? Because I'm not sure. I'm sure what you're asking. Repeat that one more time.
Basically, if not the offered manufacturers, how are black people supposed to find firearms that fit their mindset towards certain brands? So, like, if we can't rely on a certain manufacturer, like we'll use Kel-Tec as another good example, right? And with the mindset that's been going on lately, eventually it'll probably get to the point where it's like, well, we can't use Ruger, we can't use Glock, we can't use Kel-Tec, we can't, and you go down the whole list to the point where you are so caught up in your feelings. And granted, I know you said that if it pops, it pops, and if it protects my life and can help me do what I need to do, that's one thing. But you do have some people that are so set in their ways to the point where when they go down that whole list, they don't have any viable options left. So, what do you think would be, I guess, the path they would have to take in order to find something to use that would suit and benefit their feelings as far as utilizing it?
Yeah, well, unless there are some black manufacturers, they're just going to have to buy something from that list. There's really no other option. So, I mean, I don't doubt that some of them are, don't have our best interest. I know for a fact. Well, I can't say a fact, but I know. We ain't stupid, right? You have 10 manufacturers. There's going to be some of them in there, if not all of them, that feel a certain way towards people that look like us. But if you don't have any other options, then what are you going to do? Are you not going to protect your family because this company feels a certain way? Like, what are you really going to do? Like, what are your options? It's not like buying soap, where you're like, all right, I'll make my own,
Right.
Nah, this is something completely different that you probably don't have access to the technology or the resources in order to make yourself. So you do what you have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any other option.
Yeah.
And like you said, kind of the point you brought up earlier, I guess what you could do is buy secondhand, where technically you're buying it, but you're not. That company isn't profiting from your purchase, if that makes sense, because you bought it from, a friend or off of a website that just sells them, a person selling, gun broker or whatever it is. I mean, I guess that's a choice as well. If you really, really are against supporting them in any kind of way, I mean, I have no issue with that.
Yeah,
we're just limited. Right. We don't have the resources, so It's not like a T-shirt or a pair of socks.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, I guess you could knock out somebody with a pair of socks if you ain't washing them a long time, but we ain't trying to see that happen, and we damn sure ain't trying to test that theory. So, but I think that is pretty much the only way to go, and it's kind of sad because you will have some people that, like, if I were to show this Kel-Tec KSG off, or if I was to take it to the range or something, they'd turn their nose up at you, especially if they know what Kel-Tec did and everything, and be like, oh, how'd you buy that? Okay, you ain't down for the cost. All right, cool. You ain't down with it. Like, honestly, I don't have time to be down with it whenever it comes to protecting my house, protecting my friends, family, and my life. If I've got to use, I don't know, this is extreme, but I don't know if I want to go that extreme, but let's just say if I had to utilize the firearm of a dictator because it was to my right at the certain time that it came down to protecting my life, I don't care about the history of that firearm. I'm utilizing it because it's there. It'll help me do what's necessary, and then I can move on from there. I don't have to sit down and worship it or learn every single thing about its history or whatever. It's not meant to be an emotional tool. Now, granted, some people do feel like there's certain energies out there and certain auras, if you will. Me, I kind of take the samurai approach where, yeah, you do have to kind of put your soul into the weapon in order to kind of become one with it and become a little bit more in tune with it, if you will. But I don't really think everybody should take it to the extreme like that. And if you do believe that there's some type of energy out there to where you have to be on the same wavelength, if you will, with that firearm, then you can also purify it. If you're going to take it to the extreme of that, just throw some damn sage on it, keep it pushing. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, man, you have to do what you have to do, and I don't recommend anybody get killed or allow their family to be harmed just because there aren't any options. You know what I mean? So you do what you got to do. If we start having some manufacturers that look like us that start building quality firearms, and hey, let's start pouring all our resources there. But until then, we just have to choose what we have to choose from. So some things are a little more important. We have to put things in order when it comes to stuff like that. I get it 100%. I still don't watch the NFL, and I was the biggest NFL junkie. Literally, I was a Minnesota Vikings fan. So literally, I had 5 different Minnesota local websites that I would go to, not mention NFL websites, and then just third-party stuff everywhere. Constantly NFL Network all day long. Sunday was nothing but football. And then like, nah, it's not necessarily Kaepernick per se. It's just the whole idea, like, they don't even respect us at all. So if I was able to stop doing that, I already know it's in me to stop, because that was something I'm like, man, I love, there's nothing I love more than football. I would be physically like, my week is ruined when my team would lose. You know what I mean? Like I was in it.
Yeah.
But to me, like now, I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. But if you don't have an option, man, then you got to do what you got to do. I don't care if you peeled the gun out of Hitler's hand. You know what I mean? If you can save your life with that gun, or you can save your family's life, then so be it.
That's
and again, if you have a choice, then make the other choice. But until we have another choice, we got to do what we got to do.
Right. I mean, until you shooting fireballs out of your hands, I mean, this ain't gonna be like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or anything. So,
you gotta use something that's just a tool. So.
Mm-hmm. Damn right about that. Well, shoot, Will, it was an amazing interview, man. I appreciate it.
Man, I had a good time. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, go ahead and let everybody know where. I'm sorry?
I said for even considering me, man. I appreciate you.
No, I mean it. Hey, thank you, because you're pretty active in the BGOE. You got a lot of knowledge, and clearly it's very evident because you can physically see what's going on as far as your journey and your knowledge is regarding handguns. And if I read right, you made a post saying that you don't, whenever you go to competitions, you don't gear up traditionally, like, you got the mag pouches on the side and everything else. You said that you started gearing up like you're actually, let's say, for example, carrying on out in the open or out in the, in your everyday life. If I remember reading that right.
Yeah, I run my EDC. So I don't, what I run in competitions is exactly what I wear to the grocery store. There's no difference.
That's what's up. And I can get that. I understand it. But yeah, man. Keep doing what you do, and let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. You can find me IRUNANDGUNtraining.com or all of my social media at IRUNANDGUN. It's my Instagram, YouTube, IRUNANDGUN, Facebook page, IRUNANDGUN. So all the same across those. Put any of those in, and you'll be able to find me.
Cool. Once again, I appreciate it, man. Definitely got to have you back if you'd be interested.
Definitely.
I actually, when I talked to Ogun, because he, like I said, he really appreciated you for even just being the patron of his gear. I ran the idea about having both of y'all on at the same time for an episode. So hey, if you'd be down for that, I'm pretty sure you'd like that as well.
Yeah, solid brother right there, man. I'm down. Definitely.
Cool. All right, definitely gonna make that happen in the future then. But as always, we got to bring this to an end. Thank you all for listening very much. This has been another Mag Dump.